Hello friend, Tim James here, your chemical-free health coach, founder of chemicalfreebody.com, and I am excited to have you here today. I'm going to talk to you about weight loss. This is something that is literally a plague on our country. Over 80% of us adults are overweight, obese, or morbidly obese. 70% of our children are overweight, obese, and morbidly obese, and unfortunately, it's getting worse. And I'm going to just tell it to you straight. So if you are overweight, you've been fat for a long time like I was, I'm going to kind of go through this, bust these barriers, and I'm going to show you 5 weight loss barriers that you're dealing with and how to absolutely crush them, build up your self-confidence so that you can have your ideal weight and, most importantly, your ideal health. So, here we go. Problem number 1, or barrier number 1 that you're facing is a chemical onslaught. Again, if you type in umbilical cord and chemical into your browser, you will see that every single child being born today is filled up with well over 200 man-made chemicals. Now, a lot of these chemicals, besides causing cancer, they mimic our estrogens. And they throw our hormones off and our communication off, and they throw our thyroid off. So our body's not able to communicate, and we end up gaining weight. So we have that as an issue. Number 2, nutrient deficiencies. 85% of the soil's nutrients has been farmed out. So, when you're eating food that's grown in these deficient soils, you have deficient food, you end up with a deficient body. A deficient body still needs nutrients. So your body and your cells are going to be sending signals to you, eat, eat, eat. So you continue to eat those deficient foods. I mean, look at the foods you eat. The average person consumes about 50-some different foods in his or her lifetime, and about the same 14 meals over and over again. Think about it. How many different types of food do you eat? It's probably about 14 if you list it out. So we have a problem there because people are just starving to death, so we keep going back to those foods that are not nourishing us on a cellular level, and you're going to be starving. So you take in more calories because your body wants those nutrients and it's not getting it, and you gain weight, right? So, number 3 problem we have. There's a lot of crappy food out there. The fast foods, the junk foods, the processed foods, the chemicalized foods, and the boxes and cans and, irradiated foods. There is a lot of crap out there. Now think about this. If you put a bunch of junk food out in the wild and made it easily, readily available, what would happen to the wild animals? Well, they'd eat that stuff and they'd start getting fat and sick. I mean, look at zoo animals. You take them out of their natural movement patterns, their natural eating patterns, what happens to them? They get fat and they get sick, and all of a sudden we start injecting them with a bunch of crap like hormones and antibiotics and all this other stuff as their immune system drops. So, crappy food, big problem, number 3. Number 4, your gut is polluted. Our gut and our digestive tract in this country and around the world now, it's getting worse, is polluted, and it's impacted with fecal material and mucoid plaque, and that stuff has got to get out of there. Most people are carrying around about 6 to 12 pounds of this nasty stuff. It creates an acidic, disease-promoting terrain for viruses and bacteria and mold and yeast and fungus and mutagens and parasites. 50% of us have those. And nobody wants to talk about that stuff because, ooh, parasites are gross, and the gut's part of your rectum, and nobody wants to talk about it, but you got to clean that stuff up. You got to look at your body like a car, and you got to get that stuff cleaned out if you ever want to have not only just ideal health, but if you ever want to lose that weight. Okay, number 5 barrier to weight loss: emotions. Emotions are huge. We're emotional eaters. We're emotional creatures. We're emotional beings, and when things aren't going our way, what do? We eat. It's kind of like the knee-jerk reaction for the gal, and she breaks up with her boyfriend, and what does? She eats a tub of ice cream, right? So I know I do this all the time. It's like I'm such an emotional eater. I'm such a food addict. It's ridiculous. So we have to think about our emotions. Now I'm going to show you how to bust through that in just a minute. Okay, and then number 6 barrier to weight loss is just trying to do it alone. So I'll give you an example. When I was still eating the standard American diet, I was still up at 5 a.m. every morning, and I went to the gym because there was a bunch of guys there that I'd been working out with forever, and I knew they were going to be there, so I showed up because we were playing basketball 3 days a week, and we needed enough people to make the team, so I had that accountability. So I was able to keep my weight down. I was only gaining just maybe a pound or so a year. I was getting fatter, but what ended up happening was then I moved across town. I lost that connection with those guys at the gym, and then what ended up happening? I started gaining weight very rapidly because I wasn't getting up at 5 a.m. anymore and going to the gym because I didn't have that accountability. So if you can find somebody to partner up with, to get healthy with, heck with losing weight, focus on getting healthy, the weight's going to come off. But get an accountability partner, somebody you can plug into so when you're having a bad day that you can get that boost from them, and you can also help them out, which is going to make you feel much better. Now, so let's go through these one by one and knock them out. We've got the answers for you. Now, some of the stuff we've put together over here with our products and our programs to help you. So number one, the chemicals that are throwing the hormones off and stuff. We have a product called Critical Cleanse, and that's going to pull out all the heavy metals, all these estrogen mimickers, and these things that are throwing off your hormones so you can finally get your body back to normal, start losing weight. Number two, nutrient deficiency. Our Green 85 juice formula literally replaces the 85% of nutrition in less than a minute a day, and then you can just go about your day, and then you're going to start having a lot more energy. And of course, that's going to lead to weight loss because you're not going to be able to eat as much because your cells are finally getting nourished. And then it's a cool thing that happens because you just, for me, I ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I started doing my green juices twice a day, and now I eat maybe 1 or 2 meals a day, and the weight I literally lost 27 pounds in 60 days. Okay, that's what happened. My buddy Charles lost 60 pounds in 90 days. Adam lost, I think, 80 pounds in 90 days. So it works. Okay, number three, crappy food. These crappy foods that we have readily available you'll start not liking them as much. As you clean the chemicals out and as you put the good nutrition in your body, these phytochemicals, these plant chemicals, the nutrients, plant nutrients are going to just change your taste buds. Another thing to help out with this is called a tongue scraper. You can buy these for like $8-9. Scrape your tongue every time you brush your teeth, and you'll get a bunch of white, yellow stuff coming out of your teeth as your body's detoxing. It's also going to open up your pores in your tongue so you can actually start tasting your foods. And I promise you get the chemicals out, you drinking more water, and you get the nutrients in, and your taste buds are going to change, and you won't want the crappy food. So don't think about quitting it. Just focus on cleaning the chemicals out, putting the nutrients in, drinking the water, and the crappy food is going to you won't like it anymore. That's what's going to happen. It's going to take some time. You'll go back to it from time to time. It'll make you feel like garbage down the road once you get away from it, but eventually it'll give you up. That's how it's going to work. Okay. Number four, this impacted fecal material, mucoid plaque in your digestive tract. We have a product called Gut Cleanse Plus. This is a 1,000-year-old formula, and what you do is you get 1 bottle of it and you consume twice as much, 3 tablets in the morning and 3 tablets at night for 15 days, and you're going to get rid of all that stuff with no diarrhea. So you can go to work, you can travel, you can play sports, and you can clean your gut. And that's the root issue of a lot of people's problems. We want to change that terrain. Plus, it's going to be kind of cool because on average, you're going to drop about 6 to 12 pounds in 15 days. But even if it's 1 pound or 2